Alrighty here, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be our second mock draft on the channel. Yeah, we are doing it back to back, but my dad and I felt like we should um, do another one just with our opinions. Since it is our channel, we wanted to do one with just our thoughts. So we ended up taking two spots that we did not draft from in the last one, and that wasn't actually picked there in that draft. So we hope you guys enjoy. As we make our picks, we discuss why we chose those players rather than doing it afterwards. You're getting the like in time draft feel. So again, we hope you enjoy and stay tuned for future content. We have some leaderboards and a few other things coming on up. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And if you want to check out the full length stream, it is under our streaming portion on the channel. We did actually stream it live as well. So um, nothing more to say. We'll get right on into it. All right, so pick three up to me. So as you guys can see, I'm taking pick three. Papa Wiggs is taking the 12th pick here. We're trying to give a little variety here on the positions. In my three spot, I think my best option personally is taking a receiver. Now, there's a few here on the board that I think I could take, and I think right now probably the best option is going to be Tyreek, so I'm going to take him. Um, I think you can make an argument for JJ, Amon-Ra, and I think um, Jamar Chase, but I think the safe pick is Tyreek there.
All right, now we're up to me, and as anybody that's played fantasy with me knows, I value wide receivers. I know some people put more value on a running back and stuff. So with this pick, it's relatively easy for me. So I know some people might say go Puka. I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson. The reason is that I just think Garrett's going to have a great season this year, and I'm really high on him. And that leads me into my round two pick. And again, I know some people won't agree with my strategy, but as I've mentioned to Wyggzz, the champ is in the house from last year, which is me. So again, I put stock in receivers, and this time I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Puka from the Rams.
I think both those picks are pretty good too. I mean, you get kind of like a nice little middle ground of running. Like Garrett Wilson's gonna be top five this year if Roger stays healthy, and Puka Nacua could easily be like a top seven to top 10 range as well. So I mean, overall, I think it's a pretty solid pick. Now, Laporta going as early as he did here in the second round, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but that is the CPU, so I don't know. That one's a little tougher for me to judge. Now that I'm sitting here in this round, a lot of the top receivers have been taken off the board. I think I'm a little more flexible with what I can do here in this spot. And I do think since I'm only, what, 5 picks away from my next pick, I could get away with taking a running back here. And I think the running back I personally would take would be Travis Etienne. I think he has a slight edge over Achan, and he won't have to really worry about splitting reps like Achan might. Aside from that, I might have considered Nico Collins, um, but I don't know. There's the competition in Houston at receiver, so I don't know how to fully grasp that yet. But now that we get into this third round here again, this is something where I think I can be a little bit flexible still. I think I could maybe get a receiver later, so I might take a running back here. I'm kind of scrolling through to see what we got. Actually, trying to think. Okay, honestly, I'm actually going to take Mike Evans here. I think with him being the top receiver in Tampa Bay, it's a safe pick, and he's been over 1,000 yards. I think every single season he's been in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I was maybe considering who you're probably going to pick here in Isaiah Pacheco. That was who I was considering there at my running back, but I think it was smart of me to take a second receiver there, especially with it being PPR.
Well, since I got two picks in a row, it doesn't really matter who I pick, right? So again, I'm gonna go receiver just because I I'm a receiver guy. So with this third round pick, I'm going to take DK Metcalf. I know some people are going to look at me like, "Oh my God, you picked him over, Pittman and Neighbors." I'm just Metcalf's another guy that I'm pretty high on this year. So I'm comfortable with that pick, and then with my fourth round pick, I'm going to jump to a running back, and I'm going to take Pacheco from Kansas City. I think Pacheco is going to have a great year this year, so I'm very comfortable with that. So.
I think both those picks are pretty good too. Like, I was contemplating Metcalf myself even earlier in this third round, but Mike Evans has always been super consistent, so I'm like, I'll just stick with that. And he's really only got Chris Godwin to compete with, so
And I don't think Evans was a bad pick. I think the one thing Evans has shown is consistency. So I don't think I think you did well with that pick as well.
yeah, and it's a nice, safe, and comfortable pick, and I already have my wide receiver one in Tyreek, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a nice combo there. And it's not as nice as your three wide receivers. Puka maybe a little iffy there for me, but Garrett Wilson and DK is a pretty good combo. And then you got Pacheco as RB1, so I think that's pretty good. Now heading into this round for my pick, this is again something where I can be flexible. If I felt like it, I could take a tight end. Um, which I don't think I'm going to do personally. I think I'm going to wait a few rounds here. You do have McBride on the board who you could take. I just think I could pick a receiver or a running back here that would get me more points. And with that being said, I am going to go with, my guy that I'm, thinking he's going to have a really good year this year that I know you're going to disagree with, but I'm taking George Pickens here with my pick.